Hello, everybody. On this episode of Meet the NEC, today I have Mr. Sheldon with us. Sheldon, hello. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this interview. I
You're
have
welcome.
I have a couple of questions. I'm going to start off with demographical ones, like what's your name,
Sheldon Rands,
uh, and your age,
67,
and your location,
Brooklyn, New York, United States of America.
and your position within the SD.
I am the Director of Special Projects, which at this time entails Treasurer, Membership Director, and the Editor-in-Chief of our blog, Socialist Currents.
And what's your career?
I am currently the Budget Manager at the New York City uh, Department of Homeless Services in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Um, how long have you had your role as a treasurer or special director projects?
Since 2019,
Do you feel as if you meet the requirements of your role?
I do indeed, as evinced by the success I've had in maintaining and increasing our financial resources.
And then what requirements are needed for such role?
Knowing uh, and learning the skill set such as Microsoft Excel, willing to uh, learn and respond to the challenges of spending and keeping track of our financial resources and learning from others um, what they need in terms of both the national organization and our individual chapters, keeping track of what is happening with the organization as well as what the money is used for. And when money is wasted, how to prevent that from happening in the future.
Wow, thank you. Uh, are you proud of the work you've done? And could you give examples?
Could you be more specific?
Like you're are you proud of being an editor for the blog? And then why would you be proud of being the editor?
Yes, I am, because being the editor is not about uh, tooting my own horn. It's about maintaining the image of the entire organization, looking out for Social Democrats USA. And that means um, looking, taking a leadership role in terms of how the organization is seen by the world at large, especially by the country at large. And that means I have to learn about every issue, not just my own pet issues. I'm a specialist on certain issues. People who know me know my special issues are um, Israel-Palestine and sex worker decriminalization. But I have to learn every issue, and I have to think about those things as well. You know, I have to learn about Michael Modern's issues, such as hunters' rights. I have to learn about issues that, for example, my dear friend Susan from Kansas deals with. Um, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to learn about these issues because I have to see how the country sees them as well. And as the editor in chief of the blog, I learn about all of these things. And I have to understand that because if this organization is going to grow into a movement, and it has, since I've been here, it's grown from a membership of 45 to over 180, which
Oh,
means it's quadrupled. And I have had to make that happen and contribute to that as a result. And my function as the editor is to move that along.
Right.
And if all I cared about was my two issues, that could not have happened.
So as the editor in chief, you have to broaden your horizons and look into different issues that the membership is taking up.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, by definition.
Cool. How stable is SUSA financially?
Well, if by stable you mean just standing still, it's not. It's growing.
Okay.
It's growing, and and as it should. Um, it's like it's growing in the sense that it it's it takes 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, so it's growing by a step net wise.
Mm.
Um, and we are very fortunate to have gotten grants from a foundation called ProQuest, which is fascinated by our prior history um, from a time before I joined, and it's fascinated by our prior history from the archives. And one day it will be fascinated, one hopes, by the history that we have been making ever since 2016. Um, and that is a large part of our financial resources, but our growing membership is something that we have also uh, been been growing in terms of financial resources. We have chapters in Kansas City and in the state of Kansas in general. We have a chapter in New York City that I have been part of. And we, of course, have our Buffalo chapter. We now have affiliates in the South, in the Deep South, in Alabama, and in North Carolina. They're not fully fledged chapters yet. We have people who are committed to forming chapters. And this was never true in the last couple of years. So this is a very exciting time for us. And I am honored to helping to helm these fledglings take off from their nests.
Wonderful. How diversified is SUSA in thought, demographics, and in income?
Well, the demographics are, it's a very great time um, because we used to be um, very almost purely heterosexual. We now have a strong trans and queer membership. The Deep South fledgling chapters have a strong trans and queer membership, and they're really taking off. My daughter, who lives in Germany, is a transgendered woman. And one day when she migrates back to the US, I hope she'll be a great fit for the organization, for example, because she'll find a lot of like-minded colleagues in SDUSA. So we have that going for us. So that's one thing that we have in terms of our very newly variegated, I should say, demographic. And we have some in the Deep South. We also have a new Latino organizer who is uh, pledged to start up our North Carolina uh, organizing.
I didn't know that.
So, so yeah, so that's what we have going for us right now, and that seems to be very promising. So that's what we have going for us, to answer your question.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask some general questions now. What is social democracy to you?
Um, well, to me, I'll give you a personal answer. Um, I learned about social democracy historically. The first social democratic party in the world was founded in the 19th century in Germany. The SDP, the Partei von Sozialdemokratie, was founded in the late 19th century by Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and Ferdinand Lassalle. And they were all consider themselves actually revolutionary communists. Um, a small c communist, not the large C that we associate with the Soviet Union. Um, and that's what they called them, so the Social Democratic Party. And I associate myself with them, um, and that's the first. Most people don't know that. You know, most people nowadays think of social democrats as, kind of bourgeois sellouts, reformists. They just want to do little changes, and they don't really want to do much to change the system of capitalism. Um, they don't know that Marx and Engels um, call themselves social democrats. So I consider myself a social democratic originalist because I call myself a social democrat in the spirit of Marx and Engels, and later on Rosa Luxemburg, who carried on that torch into the 20th century as a German social democrat. And she later quit the party for reasons that are too complicated to get into here. That's a longer discussion. So that's my thinking, and I carry that spirit into my activity into the New York City chapter of SDUSA.
Wonderful. Sorry. What policy is most important right now?
Uh, Repeat that.
What policy is most important right now?
Is most important
Yes.
of the organization or
Just
globally?
generally speaking, like healthcare, education, infrastructure.
Well, they're all very important. Um, right now in our chapter, um, the one we are most devoted to, we are working with Mayor Mamdani, who we have worked with personally. He knows about us. We have worked with him on Israel-Palestine. Um, that's where we stand out. We have put together a proposal to form a mayoral Israel-Palestine task force. Um, that's something that no other organization in New York City that he is aware of has put together. It's an original idea. It's where we would stand out. And it would basically make New York City compliant with BDS, the Palestinian-led BDS movement. Uh, as you know, our organization supports BDS, but it does so from a democratic Zionist framework. DSA supports BDS, but from an anti-Zionist framework, which is different. Okay. For those who may not be aware, SDUSA um, supports, let me backtrack a little bit. Um, DSA is hardcore anti-Zionist. They oppose a Jewish state. Okay. They oppose a Jewish state. They oppose a Jewish homeland. Okay. SDUSA supports a Jewish homeland in Israel and opposes a Jewish state. Excuse me. Let me say that again, because I have a nice formulation for it that I came up with a while back. SDUSA opposes a Jewish state of Israel, but supports a Jewish homeland in Israel. The proposition is in the prepositions. That's that's how I put it. Whereas DSA opposes both.
Mm,
Okay.
wonderful.
Mamdani has only stated that he opposes a Jewish state. He has not made his position clear on whether or not he supports a Jewish homeland. So he's left that an open question. Okay. He knows that we support a Jewish homeland in Israel. Okay. So we have worked with him on this mayoral task force. Okay. And we have published our proposal in Socialist Currents. And we have put the original proposal out there in November, and we've updated it because some of the ideas and action items he has fulfilled. He has met them, a number of things. So, and people can read it up on the blog. And yes, this is a shameless plug to read the blog, and you can see which action items he has already done. Okay. And so he knows about that. He handed off what we gave him to his aide, Andrew Epstein, and he has since appointed a commissioner for international affairs who used to be the head of the Working Families Party, Anna Maria Archila. And we're trying to arrange a meeting with her so we can meet with her directly and deal with her so we don't have to annoy the mayor because he has more important things to do and other promises to keep. This way we can meet with Ms. Archila and then deal with these things from there. You know, that's where we are right now. That's what our priority is, to get these items done and from a more reasonable, less extremist point of view, to show people what SDUSA is made of.
Wonderful. I have two more questions for you, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let you get on with your evening or night. Um, what is a misconception about SDUSA that you would like to clear up?
Sure. Um, a lot of people, I think the most important misconception is a very old one. That SDUSA are Reaganite socialists, that we are reactionary lefties that hearken for the old days of bashing the USSR, which is ridiculous. Obviously, the USSR no longer exists, and we still bash Russia as if um, Putin is a communist, and we just want loads and loads of Pentagon spending, and we just hearken back to the old days. And this is no longer true because they just don't want to get to know what we have been and that we've undergone a lot of changes. And that's the most important thing. Basically, what we are is, as we have said time and time again to anyone who actually wants to listen to us, the teaching hospital of the Democratic left. A slogan which I have basically uh, adopted from this wonderful uh, television program, The Good Doctor, which was about an autistic physician named Dr. Sean Murphy. It
I'm
ran for
familiar with it.
yeah, which ran for 7 years, and it starred Richard Schiff, who used to be on that The West Wing, and that's why I watched it because I love Richard Schiff. He's a great actor, um, and and they used to call St. Bonaventure Hospital, where it was set in San Diego, the teaching hospital. And so I said, that's a great phrase. I'm going to apply it to SDUSA because that's what we do. Some people say we're a think tank. Well, that's what we do. We're a think tank. And and sometimes we have people run for office when it's an absolute necessity to have our guys run for office, especially when other organizations have missed the boat in certain areas. And we have people run for office when there's a gap, and sometimes we win that office, like in Kansas, like in Rockland County, where we won there too. And we had Emily Gallagher won in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and we got someone to win there. So we have some victories that we can brag about. So we fill in necessary gaps, and we've made a point to win in those places. And as we gain more and more money to plug in the gaps and win, we are making a name for ourselves, and more people realize that uh, we are here to stay and enlarge and get bigger.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, Mr. Sheldon, that is all that I got for you today. This interview has been about, I'm gonna say, half an hour, so that's pretty good. Um, so I'm gonna let you leave now. I appreciate you taking time out of your very busy day, and I will very shortly email you guys a copy of this interview for your own viewing.
It's been a pleasure. Um, and it was very good. And thank you very much. Um, it's been real, and
All right,
we're really
all right, Sheldon. Well, again, thanks for taking time of your day. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this Zoom call, um, and get on editing this video. All right.
all right. Thank you so much.
All
It
right.
was real.
Thanks again, Sheldon. Have a good one.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.